Hi guys, Kai Bracher here, and in this video I'm doing a copy of the bronze dragon that stands in front of one of the halls at the Summer Palace in Beijing, China. I had the luck of traveling China a few years ago, and well, one of the spots you go as a tourist is the Summer Palace, and so I was there and saw the dragon, liked it, and took some pictures just for reference and inspiration. And here I am, a few years later. I've loaded the pictures into Sculpt as a reference material to compare my Sculpt with the original dragon. Did some cleanups, made the pictures more monochromatic. Yeah, well, that's pretty much it. Started out with a sphere and drew it into the shape of the body, roughly, and then I took a new sphere for the head, on which I'm working here, dragging out the nose and some details which I had to destroy later on because I didn't have the proportions right. So yeah, you see me here making the beginner's mistake of going into detail too soon before the big shapes, the proportions are in place. That's never a good thing. Actually, here I'm as I'm doing the eyebrows or whatever you call that in a dragon. Was the first time I found use for the pinch tool in Sculpt. I never used that before, barely knew that it existed, but it was very helpful for the kind of spiky eyebrows of the guy. So okay, here you see me adjusting the head on and on and doing the antlers. Talking obvious and boring stuff, so yeah, don't have anything to say. Okay, now I'm adjusting the head. I had the head wrong. Now I have to correct all the details, which finally made me do the eyes completely new from scratch, because you can only change them so far before you completely distort them. Okay, Now I'm moving to, to these strange spikes on the head of the dragon, and you see the mesh is getting pretty distorted when I drew out down, but you can correct that if you if you use the reduce tool, hold the Alt key, which does the opposite of reduce. It kind of makes the mesh denser, and then use it as a reduce brush. Then you get a nice even mesh, even on the drawn out shapes of the spikes, which makes it possible to smooth them out and get them into a nice shape. One of the problems I had with the dragon on later stages was that to get the scales on the body, to get them in a nice way, I had to crank up the resolution of the mesh, and I found out that Sculpt always crashes as soon as you have around 1.7 million polygons in the file. It always crashed, so I had to juggle between cranking up the density of the mesh to get my details in, and then reduce the polygon count again to not crash Sculpt and to be able to work smoothly. So yeah, that's why I'm let's say that's why the amount of detail is limited. At least you will see that later on when I sculpt the scales of the dragon. Okay, here I'm doing the back legs from new spheres, copy them as front legs, and this is the end of his tail where he got spikes also, and you can see again the distortion of the mesh, and then like use the reduce brush and smooth them out to get some well-shaped spiky things, whatever they are. Yeah. Now finally the eyes. I left them. Did some more details of the head and face, and yeah, for the here come the nostrils. So you see I'm working all over the place. That's kind of how I work. I'm not too good at concentrating on one particular sport, but yeah, jump all over the place, which you could call a holistic approach to the sculpt. Okay, here doing a few more details like uh, sculpting the teeth of the dragon. And okay, here I'm starting with the scales. That would be the last item, the last topic of this project. One of the more challenging um, tasks for me in Sculpt. I tried different approaches to get the scales on the body and the legs. Actually tried to sculpt each and every one of them with the brush, but that didn't work out at all. And so I used alpha masks. You see, that's not a perfect solution, but that was the best I came up with at that time, and I didn't want to use another software for texturing or placing the scales along the banded shape of the body and the legs. Like it might have been better to do that in 3ds Max. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure what would be the best way to get the scales in a very good way across his body. That's something I will work on in the future, I think. So yeah, you see, so every time I try to apply the scales to a part of the body, I had to crank up the polygon count to get a decent amount of detail or a decent shaped structure of the scales. If the poly count is too low, it looks very rough and ugly, and yeah, if it's too high, it crashes. So after finishing the legs, I had to reduce the poly count on the legs and to be able to work on the body. So yeah, there are certain limitations, but well, it's alright. So here are these reps or whatever they are, and again I'm using a alpha mask. It's not absolutely and mathematically straight or correct, but well, I was pretty happy for it was, or I was alright with it. Let's just say that. Okay, here come the spikes on the back. Draw them out. I've drawn them out one after the other. Yeah, it's like Worked out like the spikes on the head and the tail. And yeah, I didn't find the way to automate that in Sculptress, like a spike brush or something, but turned out it doesn't take too long if you do them all by hand, and it's a good exercise in sculpting. So, right. Okay, I guess the rough shapes are alright here, but you see the mistakes in the pattern of the scales, and again, that's as far as I got in this project. So here come another view of the spiky antler things on the head, and some more details on the face. Oh, and some ears. Didn't have ears until now. Dragon needs ears. And these are the crazy shaped antlers the dragon has on his legs. I don't know what they are supposed to be. Maybe it's just some decoration stuff. Don't know if they're supposed to be a part of the body of the dragon. They are pretty flat things. But not too difficult to sculpt. Well, it looks like it's almost done. A few more of the whatever they are thingies on the chin, like ornaments, but it's pretty much fine-tuning from now on. Oh no, there is some kind of beard going on, Chinese style. And the turning of the legs and the left front claw had to be turned upside down, and I ended up turning didn't work too well, so I had to smooth out the claw and kind of sculpt it again, but again, good exercise. Alright, I've talked about 20 minutes and talked through the whole video. I hope that wasn't too obvious, like commenting what I'm doing, but didn't know what I should talk about other than that. So we're almost done. Dragon's almost ready. Some final details, and well, that's it. That's the dragon of the summer palace in Beijing. Hope you liked it, and bye bye.